Hey guys, it's Seth from SU Fly Fishing. I want to go through my arsenal of fly rods. I want to go through and I want to show y'all what I have, okay? More or less just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect or what you can use for your own setup, okay? I will be giving price points and I will be giving practicality, okay? So the first rod I'm going to give up is probably the most practical setup I have, okay? So the first rod I have is a Tfo Pro 2 series, okay? This is a workhorse rod. You can do so many things with it. This one in particular is an 8-foot 4-weight. I like to use this rod a lot when I'm throwing heavy nymph rigs, when I'm throwing New Zealand rigs. I could pretty much use it for anything, honestly. The reel I like to pair that up with is a Sage Spectrum C, okay? Now, as far as Sage goes, this is a little bit on the cheaper side, but it's still a Sage. This is still an alloy-made reel. It's still very good. I still use it quite a bit, but it's a good, solid reel, okay? All right. The next setup I want to go to is probably my second most used setup that I have, okay? It is, that's a 6-weight. Oh, Lord. It is this. This is a Orvis Clearwater 10-foot 3-weight rod, okay? All right, 10-foot 3-weight, okay? I Euro nymph about as much as I fish with anything else for trout. And what you'll learn the more you get into fly fishing is that 90% of the trout's diet is below the surface. And a Euro nymph, straight line nymphing, whatever you want to call it, is a good way to present the majority of what that trout eats in a very effective manner, okay? So, love my Euro rod. I have that paired up with a Redington ID. This reel was very expensive, but it is a stud. I've had this for almost 2 years now, and I have beat up. There's a lot of love marks on that, you know, a lot of little chips and stuff, but it still works great. You just got to keep it clean, and I clean it out every time I get back home. So, Redington ID. This rod and reel right here put together with the line, it's probably going to run you almost $300. Now, that's pretty expensive for the beginner, so I would still start out with a price point around $200, okay? And the Tfo rod I showed you, paired with, I don't know, a little bit cheaper reel, like in the 50 to 60 price range. You can get combos from Tfo, like an NXT combo, and that Tfo will do you great for a beginner, okay? And that's between $200 to $250, I believe. So you don't spend a bunch of money, but when you start getting into other methods, more like rods meant for like niche types of fishing, you're going to spend a little bit of money, okay? So Euro setup, 10-foot 3-weight, and a Redington ID reel, okay? All right, next setup. All right, let's go ahead and do I use this rod probably whenever I'm going fishing for big warm water species, as far as like largemouth, smallmouth, and you know, possibly not, you know, carp. It's just it's when I want to throw a little bit heavier streamers, I usually use this. This is a Orvis Encounter 6-weight. It's a 9-foot 6-weight. I've caught many bigger fish, largemouth. I've caught carp on this rod. Caught smallmouth on this rod. I've caught trying to think. I don't think I've caught. I know it wasn't with this rod. I've caught bowfin on a fly before, but it wasn't with this rod. It's with the older rod that I accidentally broke. doors are natural enemies of fly rods, if no one's told you that. So, and when you've been drinking a little bit, that door becomes a lot more deadly. So, I pair that with an Orvis Encounter 2. This is more of a plastic reel. However, it does right. I had an Encounter that I had for probably 8 years, and it took 8 years for the springs just to give out on it. So, this little Encounter reel does really well, and Orvis has upgraded it since. I'm pretty sure it's like an alloy to it. So the reel itself is probably going to be pretty good and pretty reliable. So good reel. The Encounter setup, I don't even know if they sell that setup anymore. I think now it's a clear water. But if you're going to clear water, a setup for like smallmouth, like a 9-foot 5 weight, 9-foot 6 weight, you're probably going to be spending about $250 to $260. I think that's what the combo is. So still not real high end, but it's still, you're still going to spend a little bit of money to start out. So not a bad price at all. And clear water and the Encounter setup for lower end rods are very good. Okay. All right. Next setup. This is my 3-weight. It's a 7'6" 3-weight. I use this a lot for mountain brookies, for small wild fish. If I'm going to a stream and the biggest trout I catch might be 12, 13 inches, this is what I'm doing. Okay. This is a Tfo Outfitters Lefty Cray Finesse series. Okay. This is a 3-weight, 7'9", not 7'6", 7'9" rod. Okay. This is, I've used this rod so much. I don't think there's, out of all the rods I have, but I've had that rod the longest. I've caught probably more fish on that rod than I have. I bought that rod when I was 24. I'm 33 now, and I have caught probably close to 1,000 brook trout on it, probably close to 1,000 rainbows, wild rainbow. Like, I have spent many hours with that rod. And I have that paired up with an old, with a Bait and Kill BBS 2. This reel is probably my most beat up reel. There's marks all over it, and it's a metal reel. It's a Bait and Kills are really simple, really reliable reels. Orvis makes a pretty good reel when it comes to Bait and Kill. I have not had any issues with this one at all. This rod and reel combo for me have been very reliable. The reel, a good Bait and Kill reel is going to cost you probably right around $80 to $100. That Tfo Lefty Cray Finesse series is going to cost you anywhere between $100 to $120. I'm not real sure. I think they might be selling a new series. The Finesse series might not be a thing anymore. I haven't kept up with the new rods, but at that price point for a reel, line, and that, you're probably going to be spending about the same amount you get as with the starter setup. So, all right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over my 2 big rods. Okay. Oh goodness. This is my 8-weight. Now, what I use my 8-weight for is when I know I'm specifically going for big freshwater fish. If I'm like throwing streamers for catfish, if I'm going after bowfin, if I'm going after fish that I know I need or big carp, and I know I need a little bit more backbone. This is a Redington Path combo. All right. This is a 9-foot 8-weight. All right. This is, I use it for also when I'm fishing for a little bit smaller saltwater stuff. I'm going out and I know I can't find any big fish. I'll go out to like the marshes or an inlet and fish for like ladyfish or blue runners or something. Foot long ladyfish is a whole lot of fun. So 8-weight. And then my last big rod. This is my second most expensive setup. This is a 9-foot 10-weight. This is a Redington Behemoth reel. Okay. This rod was made by Chippewa Custom Rods. It is what I use for when I'm going to the surf or I'm going to an inlet and I know I need to catch something bigger than 20 pounds. It's my Muskie Rod for here. just, it's a meat stick. It's meant to be for big predatory fish. So if I'm going for muskie, using this. If I'm going for pike, using this. If I'm going for big 30-inch plus redfish, using this. If I'm going for anything in the ocean that is more than 15 pounds, probably this. A 15-pound Jack Crevalle would give this rod everything it needed. Like this rod is meant for good sized and strong fish. This reel was 150. Was it? No. This reel was 120. This rod was 350. And the line, it was 120. This is what I mean by when you start getting into niche types of fly fishing. Really big game fish, you need a good solid rod. And Chippewa Customs made this rod specifically for that. It has ceramic eye holes, and it is very well put together. Very well put together. All right, now we're going to get to the last fly rod. Okay, it's a 9-foot 4-weight RL Winston Pure. It is my baby. I love this rod. It is like my other, like my Tfo. It is my workhorse. I will put it out and I let it catches everything. It has enough backbone to where I can redirect big fish, but it has it's light enough to where I hook into a 10-inch rainbow, and I'm like, this is a lot of fun. So I have that paired up with a Ross Animus. This reel is really smooth. I'm used to reels almost, and you'll see me feeding line and stuff. It's a habit I got to break, because growing up, there was a lot of reels that I had that weren't very good, or that would stick a lot, so I'd be feeding it like hand line. Then I'm getting to the point now where I can feel the rod start allowing it to pull line, like the rod will load up to the max point, and the line will start giving, and the reel will start clicking line out. So I love this rod. I love this rod. I love this reel. And this by far is my most expensive one. Okay. The rod itself is $900. The reel is $360. And the line, the fly line, is Scientific Angler. And it was $100. So this is what you would buy. I would suggest, I would suggest getting a cheap rod to start out with. But when you've been fishing for a while and you pretty much can cast with whatever, go in and get you something expensive. Go in and get you something nice. Because I know that I'm going to use this rod enough to where I can, justify spending it. So hopefully I'll have this rod for the rest of my life, or at least 20 years, and I'll be able to justify saying, hey, I had this rod for long enough that it did right. So, quick note, it's about that time. For those who don't know, and fly fishing, when June happens, 2 things. A lot of streams get too hot to fish for trout, and the spring creeks and tailwaters start having terrestrials, beetles, grasshoppers, crickets, ants, inchworms. These things start coming when Southwest Virginia, you start fishing these a lot. In fact, I would think there's probably already been some inchworms out there for the last week or so. But it's about to be a lot of plopping and dry fly eats. In fact, there are some places where the brown trout are so aggressive that they'll look almost like a shark coming through the water to eat it. So I'm very excited. I think we'll have one or two more trout sessions at the creek we've been fishing at a lot. Okay. And I hope that, coming up soon, that will transfer into other streams. I got another stream that I really like to fish with beetles and whatnot. So this summer, we're probably going to have a lot less fly fishing for trout come up. I think you might have this summer 4 or 5, with one coming up this weekend. But then we're gonna stick with doing a lot of like smallmouth, doing a lot of you know, I think about doing, I'm probably going to do some conventional, like spinning tackle stuff. And, you know, and just catfishing. I'm probably going to do, I've got some saltwater trips lined up. So just having a good time of it. So I hope y'all enjoy this video. I hope it was informational. And if y'all have any questions, leave a comment. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. And as always, guys, tight lines and blessings.